In this video, I will show you how to model little ornaments with curves. So let's go for that. For example, this technique will work for creating toon hairs as well. And I want to show you that first. So let's go for this here. We will add here a mesh, a curve, sorry. And this will be a path, this one. And first thing that you can do with path is add a bevel into the path data into geometry. Here you will find the bevel, and if you increase it, you will have this shape. And the first thing you can do, you can make Alt S to scale down the thickness of it, for example, and maybe scale up that one. And you will have a nice shape that you can play to make some nice hairs. Like for example, here if you have a shape like that, okay, maybe in front view, in orthographic view, okay, you will just make a shape like this, very simple one to create hair. It works well with manga characters or things like that. You will have a nice hair curves that you duplicate after. And let's say I have this one, I duplicate it and make a rotation into the z-axis and create another one that I change a little, maybe to be bigger here. And maybe I want another one like the first one. I duplicate here that one and make a rotation to have something that will change a little. And yeah, you will have the possibility like this to create nice shapes that make hairs. So for example, here we have a circle because it's a bevel, simple beveled round, okay? So we have a circle here, but you can use other options like object or profile. And this is what I want to show you. So what you can do, for example, you can use another curve and it will work only with curves. If it's a mesh object, it will not work. So let's go with a curve. Like for example, we would like to have kind of triangular shape here. So let's go for that. I will add a curve Bezier circle here, and with GX put it here, scale it down because it's too big, remove that one, and there's 3 here. I will put vector, and like this we'll have kind of triangular shape, and maybe I can play a little with this shape to have something more interesting, like for example this kind of curvy shape here. Good, we have something interesting already. So now what we can do, we can just go into this object and use this object. And now you can see that it will make a nice one. So can be very good to create hairs as well. You can play with multiple shapes, like, whoa, I went very far. You can play with multiple shapes, like for example here you can select that one and duplicate it with Shift D. And scale it down, for example, or have more hair effect like this. And maybe another one. Scale it down again, make something a little more far, and you will have this kind of nice effect now into your hairs. So can work well for hairs, and yeah, it's a very powerful method to create some new things for your characters. So it works with long hairs as well. For example, if I take that one here, I can go with more here shape like this, for example. Okay, and you can really create nice curvy shapes like that. That will work really good. You can play as well with the tilt to have something more curly. Like for example, if I use Control T here, it will create this kind of twists. So can be useful as well for that. So let's say I will create a twist like this, and here the other side with Control T, I will go like that. And here again, the other side, Control T this way, and now Control T that way. And you will have something far more interesting to play with, okay? Control T again. And look, so now you have something that is really more interesting than before. So this is the way of doing hairs with this method, and for toon characters it works very, very well. What I can show you for this, we will see in the next chapters, but just to show you how it works, we will go into the source files here, and here I have this character. Okay, and these hairs are made with the same kind of technique here. You can see all the passes that go through together, and you have this kind of result here. So it can be very interesting to work with that. Okay. But we will see that when we will use texture paint. I will join this file to the source files for sure. Like this, you can really see how it works. Now I will just create a new one, and I will show you how to use this for create some ornaments as well. In jewelry, it works very well. In sculpture as well, all style sculptures, and or maybe just to add some ornaments like yeah, in old churches or things like that, like old style architecture, like medieval architecture or things like this. It will work very well. So let's go for that. And what I will do here, I will remove everything and just add a path. And this path here, I will create a nice curvy shape here first. So what I will do, I will just move that up, move that down. I will go in orthographic view to be sure that I see well what I do. And now I will extrude this to create a curve like that. That will have this kind of motion like this. That will create a kind of curly shape like that. Okay, we have something that is not bad. Maybe a last one to have this one. Okay, so that kind of shape can be interesting. Maybe that one might be here. It depends of what you want to do for sure. Maybe you can select here and put this a little less big. Good. And now we have a first shape that is interesting. What you can do first is to play. So we did see here the option with the geometry with the object, but there is the profile too. And what is this option? It's the same option that when you use the bevel and you have the profile option with here a curve that you can manage, it's exactly the same. So if I increase the depth here, now I have something squarish, because it's just a line, and this line here, it's this line here. Okay, so if I change this line, it will create a new shape. Okay, and I can create interesting shapes like this. What you can do is to add some resolution to it. Like this, you will have more dots here to manage the shape, and it will be more interesting. You can remove a dot, select the dot, remove the dot. You can play with some handle types to have something like this or something like that. Okay, so you can really have a lot of nice options here. And then after, you can fill the gaps. You have some presets as well, sorry. Here the presets by default is the default. You have the support loops here that will create a kind of shape like half squarish. You have here the cornice molding, that is interesting as well. You have the crown molding. That is interesting as well. And you have the steps. Honestly, I don't use that much, but it's here. Let's say it's here. You have. We will use maybe the cornice molding for this example. And now we will play with the thickness of it. So what we will do, we'll just decrease the thickness with Alt S and increase the thickness with Alt S. Okay, so it has to be something that will be a little more thick here, and that goes smoothly to something that is less big. To have this kind of shape, okay, and to go until something very thin like that. And now we have really a nice one. We can increase a little here. Depends on what you want, but what it's good, it's to have something that goes from something very thin, goes to something very big, and goes smoothly until very thin again, okay? And now you will have a nice shape that you can use to have something more interesting into your model. Okay, so go not too strong like this. You can still change a little the shape like this. It will follow well what you want and have something more circular. So now it looks good, let's say. And what you can do with that, just with this simple shape, you can do already a lot of things actually. So what we could do is duplicate a part of the shape, like for example this one. Let's say we would like to duplicate this, so we'll duplicate this. And with Alt S on everything, with a scale on everything and Alt S on everything will make it less thick and less big, okay? And maybe this one we will want Alt S as well, and make an extrusion and come back into this kind, to have this kind of shape here, more interesting. Well, and you can use that to create very nice patterns. And for this, what we will do, maybe we'll add another one, move everything into the x-axis, for example. We'll have this kind, and maybe we can create duplicate that one. That is good. I like this one. And we could play with a rotation like this, or maybe with SX -1 we have another direction, okay, to have this kind of direction, and put it in the near the center here. Good. And maybe we can play a little with the orientation like this. It can follow and have something that will come back in a way like that. Okay, so let's go for something that will go like this and extrude again. Okay, and now we have something that is more interesting with this kind of nice shape. Okay, you can really play with these options to have very, very nice shapes like this. Now that we have these organic shapes, we can play with them as well with some modifiers. Like for example, we could use a modifier, maybe the modifier generate mirror, and now we'll have this kind of shape. Look at this, it's good. And we can play with this modifier by using the y-axis as well. And now we have this kind of shapes. I can even play with this now, and maybe by subdivide this shape and put something like that will join each other like this maybe, and extrude again and make Alt S like this. Okay, just to have a nice curvy shape here that will join each other. Okay, looks already very good. And so now just with a few clicks you have already something very very nice to add some ornaments in a sculpture or in a bas-relief or something like that. Now what you could do to even make it more interesting, it's maybe we could add another one here, like something that will fill a little this space. Okay, so what I will do, I will just maybe select that one. Okay, duplicate it and make a scale here to make it less big. Okay, put it somewhere over here. And as this one here, we can just make it join into that direction. So come back with something like this. Okay, so we'll go there, and extrude and come back to this with Alt S as well. Okay, so now we have this nice curvy shape. That looks like this. Let's say it's just an example. You can really play with all the settings. With Control Plus, you can select more and make more rotations like that, maybe. Depend on what you want to use in this project. Me, I like when it's curvy everywhere. So somewhere like this will be more beautiful. Good. So now we have this kind of shape. But we could curve this too. Like for example, let's make a nice ring. Okay, so let's go for a ring, and for this I will add a cylinder. Okay, this cylinder I will add a lot of vertices, like 128. I really want something really with a lot of definition here. I will not fill the top, and I will go with a RX 90 degrees into edit mode and scale it up and scale it down into the y-axis, for example, just like that. Good. Like it will be more or less the size of it. Okay, and now I can add a new curve, a Bezier circle. This circle will make a RX 90 degrees as well and scale it up to have something big like that that follows the geometry. Now we can play with this one to add a modifier here, deform curve, and add this curve for this one, this Bezier circle, and you can see that it follows perfectly the shape. So what is good with that is that I can, for example, duplicate that with the modifier array before. So what I will do, I will add a generate array, but not in before, not after the curve, but before the curve. And now it will follow the curve along this, and I can increase the number. Like for example, if I want 5, it might be enough. Maybe scale it up a little. Like this, it will fill the entire space until it joins here. And look, you have already something very interesting here. I will smooth that, shade smooth, and maybe we'll hide the Bezier circle now, and we can continue our ring basically just by make a thickness into it, like we make a E, let it into the center with right click and Alt S like that, and you will have a nice shape. What you can do as well is make SY like this. Maybe we could add a little border into it, like for example like this, with Control R, with Control B, we have now these borders that we could select like that and make an extrusion with Alt S. Okay, so now you will have a nice ring with a nice shape into it. Okay, I would just recalculate the normals because they are not well oriented in my opinion. And what I can do as well is add some beveling if needed, for example, here and there with Control B, okay, just to have a nice shape. And again, the same here with Control B will help to have something more beautiful. Not that much, yeah, something like that will be good. And now you have the shape that you want. So you have a ring with nice ornaments into it. And basically, there are the two techniques that I wanted to show you there. What is good now is that I can just modify this. Let's say I don't like this shape. For example, I don't like this curve here. So I would like to change it. No problem. I hide my cylinder here and just play with the shape that I want to refine. Like for example, this one, I'm not happy with it, let's say. So I would like to go with this, maybe make a shape more like this, okay, and more like that. Okay, and more little like this, it goes inside. Yeah, let's say I'm more happy with it when it's curvy like this, more beautiful this, and make Alt S like this, it follows. And now I have something that works into the entire shape like that. So you can even model some necklaces like this, or some bracelet or whatever. You can add some nice ornaments into an armor too, for example, can be very, very good. And to make it stick to the armor, we will use modifiers differently, but this using curves are ornaments, as ornaments are very powerful tool to add some details into your scene. What you can do as well is use here, you can see that we have some spaces. We could use, for example, these parts here to add some pearls. Like for example, let's go for it. So let's come back with our original without the curve. And we would like some nice pearls here, here, and there. Okay, so what I will do, I will just add a mesh here. This mesh will be a UV sphere. We will make a shade smooth here. We will go into edit mode and we'll just put it there as we said. Okay, simple. Now we have a pearl. Now this pearl, I would like to add a modifier as well. This modifier will be a mirror into the X and the Y axis. Like this, I have my 4 pearls. Now I want the array modifier as well. Okay, so by default, it will not be the same factor here. I have to adjust the factor like that it sits well. So sometimes you have to play a little with this parameter and increase the count. Like this, it can follow here well the entire design. Okay, now I will add a curve as well, a modifier curve, by adding here a modifier deform curve, and we can select the Bezier circle as one. Okay, so if now I enable the curve here, we see that it follows well and we have our pearls everywhere. Now if I add a cylinder, we have everything we need. We could, for just a shading that is not that good here, because we have a long here one, we can add some subdivisions to have a better shading here. And now look at this. We have a nice object with everything inside. We could rename objects, like this one is the ring. This one here is the ornaments. And this one here, it's the pearls. And now you have everything to create nice jewels very quickly and easily like that. So don't hesitate to play with these options. Try to reproduce always what I did. Maybe experiment a little to try different shapes and make your objects yourself. It will be very important to not only watch the video, but make what I do during these exercises. So especially that one, it can help you. The logo as well, and the exercise of the necklace as well is very important. So I really recommend you to make these three, not only watch. Make it again. It's very important to be used of the tools that you have and to be comfortable with. Into the next chapter, we will talk about modeling with modifiers. We did start already a little to model with these modifiers. We did see that it's very powerful already, but we will see a lot of other examples. You see that there is a big list here of modifiers, and we will try to cover everything during the chapter.